Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. It's already way worse than we even we imagined, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what the point is of sending the J.D. Vances and Pam Bondis out to say, oh, no, absolutely, he'll never pardon the violent January 6th. And then he does it, right?
Yeah. Well, it was someone asked him, I believe it was yesterday, about his pardons and the fact that he pardoned people who violently assaulted Capitol police officers, right?
Yeah.
And his answer was typically like second-term Reagan. Well, I don't know. And that's an exact quote that Donald Trump said in response to that. Well, I don't know. See, I've been working on my Reagan impression.
Very good. It's very good.
Yeah, because we're going to get trickle down, but with golden showers this time.
Right.
Yes, they're going to pee on our heads and also tell us it's raining trickle down from the billionaires.
But I mean, what a nightmare. I mean, just compounding one of the worst days in American history.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes down in infamy along with the firing on Fort Sumter and the assassination of JFK
9/11.
and 9/11 and January 6th is right there on that list. I don't know where it ranks, but it's on the list. And then it's compounded by the fact that now all of these insurrectionists are just going to be let out. It's Bane in The Dark Knight Rises emptying out Blackgate Prison.
Yeah.
And that's exactly... I played a little bit of that speech on my show yesterday from The Dark Knight Rises where Bane's doing that whole thing about releasing the prisoners from Blackgate. So similar to Donald Trump's inaugural.
Well, I keep saying either when they open the containment chamber in Ghostbusters or the Ark of Asylum or Batman when he lets all the criminals.
That is Arkham Asylum.
That is Asylum.
I knew that.
Okay.
Right.
But Bob,
that
he's just going to turn the gaslighting up to 11 every time you see. No one's had a bigger friend of the police than me. No one's ever in this office been a bigger friend. You're like,
well, what it really was. It was a sanction of political violence.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially, obviously in name, it was a pardon and several commutations, but it was a presidential sanction of political violence. That's what that act was.
Yeah.
That's that order that he issued.
Stand back and stand by. He has his militia now, who are emboldened to do anything. I mean, you retweeted Rick Wilson said easiest layup question in media today: ask Republican elected officials should Trump have pardoned January 6 folks who violently attacked cops that day. I mean, it's. And by the way, I'm glad he brought this up. He said the only time Trump freed more terrorists tonight was the time he agreed to let 5,000 Taliban prisoners go free. I mentioned this deal where we got 2 Americans back for one Taliban. That the deal Biden was in the making for years and then got delayed. So it just happened whenever it was yesterday. So Trump can take credit for this deal. And Trump's spokesman had the audacity, Bob, to criticize the deal, to go, well, we wouldn't have, done the deal Biden did, but we're always happy to have Americans home. You let 5,000 Taliban prisoners go. You only negotiated with them and cut the Afghan government out, and then you invited them to Camp David on 9/11, and you have the audacity to criticize Joe Biden in a deal where they get one Taliban back and we get 2 Americans home.
Right.
Okay,
it's the post-contradiction, post-irony era. That's where we are right now because none of that matters, right? The fact that Donald Trump, Mr. Tough Alpha Man, had to move his inauguration indoors because it was going to be too cold outside. I mean, you can imagine.
That wasn't it. It was the stupid crowd size. There was nobody there. We were there. Did you see the, cars? There's nobody on the streets. There's nobody. The hotel rooms were. There was not one hotel. It was sold out. So
and I'm convinced it was obviously, and I'm not the first to say this, but it was obviously not having anything to do with the cold. I'm sure they got crowd estimates and realized, oh no one's going to show up. Basically Donald saying, oh no, everyone's going to see my tiny penis. That's exactly what's going to happen on Inauguration Day, and I can't have that. So let's move it indoors and we'll use the cold as an excuse. And if you can imagine, if Joe Biden had continued to run and got reelected and then decided to move his inauguration indoors, every single one of these ridiculous bro podcasters would have been all over the fact that he's an old man and that he was afraid of the cold and he's he's a beta cuck or whatever they say and that would have been the thing. Donald Trump, he gets a pass on this. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You retweeted
Doesn't make any sense.
Andrew Weinstein, who said the mainstream media spent months obsessing over Joe Biden's choice of footwear. Let's see how much attention they give to Trump pardoning insurrectionists who assaulted police officers. Rude Pundit, you retweeted. Welcome to American Hole. Trump just gave his savage followers the go-ahead to rampage. I mean, we mentioned... Yeah, we mentioned this son of anyone that's tried to obey the law now has to fear. The son that turned his father in is scared to death, went to buy a gun,
Had to go into hiding.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole idea. The whole
From
name
his
of the game
father.
right now is...
From his father, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's all about, with Donald, it's all about intimidation and fear. I mean, that's inciting all of that in his enemies and friends alike. And so that's the point of everything he's done everything he's done for years now, but most pointedly now, which is what I was doing before.
We already played the Lady Bishop that spoke truth right to stupid Orange Power's face. But this, I mean, how few and far between is this Pam Hemphill, convicted J6er, the only one that refused the pardon? Take a listen.
That's the mega, I don't know how to explain it, but they have this way of demeaning you and putting you down, and that's what they've got going right now is this huge gaslighting smear campaign going on, telling me that it was a peaceful protest. I was there when they pushed those gates and those officers, and when they stepped on my head, and it was an officer that saved my life that day. Biden is right on with everything he's saying. Trump is a dangerous, and I mean dangerous, narcissist. He's a cult leader. He needs to be put in prison.
Wow.
He's not any different than his friend. What was that guy that just got? They're saying that he was killed himself
Epstein.
in the prison. Epstein.
Yep.
Friends with Epstein.
Yeah.
Trump is disgusting.
That she was known as the MAGA granny, hero of democracy. She said we were wrong that day. She said, "I don't want to pardon. I committed a crime." I mean, she pled guilty.
As you said, Bishop Budd.
Yeah.
Speaking truth to power directly with Donald Trump and the vice president all sitting right there. I mean, that is pure bravery, especially right now.
I keep bringing up Michael Steele and David Frum, to Joe Scarborough's face. Talks about not bending the knee.
Scarborough's and I hope Joe and Mika and all these people who are capitulating in advance to Donald Trump see Bishop Budd and hear what Pam had to say about refusing the pardon. I hope they feel terrible. I hope they feel
listen to this. Accepting
significant compared to these people.
She said accepting a pardon would only insult the Capitol police officers, rule of law, and of course our nation. I pled guilty because I was guilty. Accepting a pardon would only serve to contribute to their gaslighting and false narrative. She said she saw the Trump government is trying to rewrite history. I don't want to be a part of that. We were wrong that day. We broke the law. There should be no pardons. I mean, I guess you have a couple senators, timidly, Tom Tillis of North Carolina saying he can't agree with the move. It raises legitimate safety issues on Capitol Hill. Okay. James Lankford said, I think we need to continue to say we're the party of law and order.
No.
Oh, well, you can continue to say that, and it will continue to not be true. I mean, so he's just, I just worry about how this makes us look politically. Not that, wrong doesn't cease being wrong because we stop saying it, right, Bob?
Right.
I mean,
and Donald Trump is able to get away with it because he's got this media apparatus who's constantly either sane-washing him or saying things that just are the opposite of the truth.
Yeah.
So what we're going to hear probably from the Daily Wire podcast, Joe Rogan and all the others, that this is some sort of multi-layer chess move by Donald Trump to enact some other thing, and it's such a bold move, and how ballsy and brave of Donald Trump to do this thing. And that's going to be the Orwellian nightmare that we're going to face on top of having to deal with Donald Trump and his ridiculous blurts every day.
Yeah. Mark Elias said, this is the cowardice of the New York Times. Legacy media is failing. This is their headline. Elon Musk ignites online speculation over the meaning of hand gesture. That every single human knows is a Nazi salute that he did twice.
There are things you just don't do, especially when you're appearing publicly on a stage. You don't drop your pants and start pleasuring yourself on stage.
Well, I do. That's my whole act.
Yeah,
that's my whole act.
That's her bag.
Don't Tubin. I'm not Tubin.
That's true. So Yes, unless you're Stephanie, you don't normally do something like that. It's automatic. Likewise, you don't act like Hitler on stage. That's just a thing. Whether he intended to do that or not, whether that was the idea, doesn't matter. It's just that gesture is, no, you don't do anything similar to that gesture.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
And that should be automatic for any sane, rational human being. But, of course, Elon is ungainly.
Bob Cesca, ladies and gentlemen, a hero of democracy, stepping out on a ledge and saying Nazis are bad.
Hitler acting like Hitler is bad.
From the clutches of fascist idiocracy, we proudly present Heroes of Democracy.
It's settled. Bob Cesca. Nazi salutes bad.
Yes.
Don't do it. Bad, bad.
That's right. Always the best hot takes coming from me. Right on top.
You
at
also-
the vanguard of political commentary.
Speaking of heroes of democracy, you retweeted our friend Jess Piper, who joined us at Kansas City, sexy liberal. She said, it's really not left versus right. It's class war, the billionaires versus the rest of us. I mean, the seating said everything. All the tech billionaires are up front as cabinets. Not even, I mean, Marco Rubio is going to be completely toothless.
Yeah.
I mean, the people in charge are right up there in front, right?
And as you said Saturday night, all these people who voted for Donald Trump because of the price of eggs spent thousands of dollars to travel to Washington, D.C. to watch their hero Donald Trump get inaugurated. And they gotta stay in their hotel room and watch it on their iPads and whatever. It's just wonderful to see that. There you go. And all the billionaires got to sit inside cozy warm
You almost
and watch
wonder-
it happen right in front of their faces.
That's part of why he went, balls out on, pardoning everybody because, the base needs red meat. The natives are getting restless because maybe they're going to notice I F them already. The inauguration.
Yeah.
So, because they'd all been saying for months, oh, no, not the violent ones, right? And he just, there you go. Here's the red meat.
Right. Well, one of the things he implemented on day one was instituting Schedule F, which allows him to fire federal workers without cause. That's how he's going to implement that section of Project 2025. Yeah. There's also Schedule FU, which is everything else that he is doing right now, because every policy he has announced it has nothing to do with anything people wanted, Gulf of Mexico or annexing Greenland, whatever he's proposing. It's all just FU to the people who don't like him.
On behalf of all of us, I say, you back. Oh, by the way, can I have that that guy yelling you that you use? I need that soundbite. The guy.
Oh, yes, Martin Landau from Ed Wood. Yeah,
yes.
Screaming, See, I just ruined the mystery. We could have done a whole other soundbite.
Right.
Where's this from?
Unraveling.
Yes. Well, this is Trump Central, so thank you, Bob. I
Sure.
appreciate it.
I'll
The Bob
send
says,
that if you can play it on the radio.
Yeah, well,
wait, so we have to bleep it.
Yeah, you have to believe
Yeah,
it.
but it's funny because he yells it. Okay.
Okay.
Bob, do not ever, well, you don't ever miss the Bob Cesca show. You can't. But my point is no one else should miss it. I listen every single day. The Bob
And
Cesca
I miss
show.
having my yam sack honked.
I'm here with the incredibly handsome Dr. David Silverman to talk about ASEA Renew that I am holding in my hand. This stuff is amazing. Revitalizing Redox gel. You hold up, you have you can either, it comes in drink form and this is the gel form. I love, first of all, that supermodel Carol Alt will be promoting this. She's taken so many jobs from me, so I am so happy.
Just to give some context, because I have to tell you that this is very unique. This is not, it's not a pharmaceutical, it's not a nutritional product. It's something that our cells make. It's called redox signaling molecules. But bottom line is, our cells make redox signaling molecules. Your body makes it right now, but we all made more of it when we were younger. What's in this bottle is in you. It's in me, right? But I'll be 64 in 2 weeks, and I feel like I'm 30 years old. I've been drinking this for 13 years.
Wow, Doc, what a thrill to meet you and to hear more about this, because it's you just kind of go, oh, it works, but to hear about the why is fascinating to me. Dr. David Silverman, what a joy and a pleasure, and thank you so much.